Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is 19th video in Windows Server 2016 step-by-step tutorial. And today in this video I am going to discuss you and show you deploying Microsoft Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, which is called VDI, by using remote desktop services on 2016 servers. So we have three type of remote desktop services in 2016. The first one is called remote desktop, where you can see here all the users are going to log in on a same server by using the remote desktop services. You can see multiple users concurrently accessing the same machine, which is enabling by Windows remote desktop services. So basically the server is hosting the session host server role, and all the users are going to log in on the same server by their credential. And the next one is virtual desktop, where one machine for each user, and you can say every users get receive their own dedicated virtual machine, which is running on a Hyper-V basically. So this is called virtual machine deployment in 2016 RDS. So this is you can see on a screen every user are getting a dedicated machine for their use, and basically in this scenario users are going to log in on their thin client devices, and then after logging the thin client devices they are accessing their own VDI, which is running on a Hyper-V host. And the next is remote application, which we have discussed and deployed in our last video, which is 18th video. You can go and refer that video if you have not watched. So in this video, in this scenario, all the users are going to use the application which is published on remote desktop services on 2016, and every users have access to their different application. And if the users can access the application as per their authorization, the users one is authorized to access the all three user application, then they can access all the three applications. So this is all scenario which we have in 2016 RDS. And here is my lab environment. So in this video I am going to follow this virtual desktop deployment, which is called deploying Microsoft Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, VDI. So here we have, you can see, so everyone at the end every users get their own dedicated virtual machines. So here is my lab environment. We have two servers and two thin client devices in this video which we are going to use. So the first machine is Win2K16 DC01, which is my Active Directory and DNS role. Also I have installed a DHCP server on this machine. You can see here Active Directory, DNS and DHCP is installed. If you go to local services, you can see the details here, and also you can go here on a DHCP. You can see the DHCP is configured and it's providing the IP address to their client. So let's see here, we have lease address pool from 51 to 160, and you can see here it's providing the IP address to their client 51 and 52. They're thin client devices, these thin client devices. And next machine is our RDS VDI01, which is our remote desktop services VDI server, which is going to hold a VDI. And in my scenario I am assigned 20 GB RAM to this machine, and here you can see we have RDS-VDI01, and we have assigned 20 GB RAM, and this machine is a part of a domain which is victorinfosol.com. and you can see we have around 90% C drive in this server. So this is the server where we are going to install all role which is related to RDS, and we have two thin client devices, which is thin-01 and thin-02. Both machine is running is joined in my domain Victor Infosol, and both the machine is running on a thin client edition like Windows 7 embedded. You can see here Windows 7 embedded in the standard, and 64-bit 1 GB RAM I have assigned. And if you go here you can see it's around 3 GB footprint while installing the thin client services, around 3 GB. I have total 8 GB hard drive on the thin client. And same you can go here, this is thin client 1 and this is my thin client 2 machine, you can see. So this is my info which we are going to use in this video. So let's move and do the installation step by step. To install the RDS services we need to go here on a manage, add role and feature, and here we have some information like you have administrator account, IP address, and Windows is installed. So go ahead and click next, and here we have a remote desktop services installation. We need to select this, and here you can see install required role for VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure, to create a virtual machine based or session based deployment. So in last video we have followed the session based deployment, and we have deployed some remote application. So same we are going to use, but this time we are going to deploy virtual desktop infrastructure. So click next, and we have here mm, deployment type like standard, quick, and multi-point services. So I'm going to use here standard. So click next, and deployment scenario, we have two options: virtual machine deployment, desktop deployment based, and session host. So I am going to use a desktop machine virtual machine based desktop deployment. So click next. Now we have role here. We are going to install a three role, which is the first one is connection broker, which is going to like provide the connection redirection and user session redirection, these things. And the next is web access, which is going to provide a user interface to log in on a web page. And last one is remote desktop virtualization host, which is going to enable Hyper-V role on this machine to run a virtual machine. So go ahead and click next, and we have here connection broker server, which I am going to select my current host only. And next we need to select the web access, RD web access server. So I'm going to select here install the RD web access role on the same RD connection broker. So go ahead, click next. And now we need to select the RD virtualization host. So go ahead and select this, and here we have a small icon here, create a new virtual switch on selected server. So this will be going to create a Hyper-V virtual switch, which is extended switch on Hyper-V. We'll see how it's created and how it's look like. So go ahead, click next. Now we have a confirmation page. So wait for some time, and here we go. So we have selected one server for RD connection broker, one server for um, web access, and one for virtualization. And also you can see new virtual switch, yes. And here need to select the restart the destination server automatically. So Hyper-V role going installation going to reboot this server. So it's good. Go ahead and click on deploy. So now you can see it's start the installation one by one. So this installation going to take 2 to 5 minutes to install all the roles. So we need to wait, and during the installation server will reboot once. So now you can see it's installing connection broker services. So here you can see the both role is in progress, and now it's installing the Hyper-V role. So during the Hyper-V it will reboot once. Now you can see server is getting rebooted. and now it's working on feature on a Hyper-V. So almost there. It will reboot one more time. We are almost there. So good to go. Hit Ctrl Del to log in and log in with the VDI admin. Now it will restart the installation, and you can say resume the installation from there only before the restart. So now you can see it's configuring the server. Now it will configure all the services step by step. So it's currently working on connection broker service. It will take few minutes to configure all three services. Also you can see the Hyper-V role is installed here. You can see the Hyper-V role is installed, which is related with virtualization host. Web access is related installed, which is IaaS, and connection broker, which is remote desktop services. So the remote desktop services is done. Now it's configuring web access role, succeeded, and finally it will configure the virtualization host. So we have here remote desktop license mode is not configured, so we need to configure it if required. As this is a demo environment, I'm not going to configure the licensing. So now you can see everything is done. We are succeed with all the three roles. So now if you go here, remote desktop services, you can see we are not getting the session host desktop deployment options because we have installed this RDS service as a virtual machine desktop deployment. So we can do create a desktop collection, add RD virtualization host, like more hyper we can add more Hyper-V servers. So this is the option, and we have here server, we have collection. And now if you go here, if you want to create collection, and one more thing, you can see which role we have installed. Web access is installed, connection broker is installed, and virtualization host. If you want to add a gateway, you can go ahead and add gateway server here. If you want to add a licensing server, you can go ahead and add licensing server by this. So this is the small thing how you can install these things. So let's go here, collection. If you go, let's see Hyper-V first. So we have a Hyper-V here, you can see. And if you go to Hyper-V settings, you can see all the settings, where the hard drive is going, where the virtual machine. And if you go on virtual switch, you can see the virtual switch has been created with name of RDS virtual, and its external network, and we have allowed the management network. So this is automatically created by during the installation of RDS services. So this is how, if you go here and create new desktop collection, and if you click next, we have collection name, like you can say VDI demo. If you click next, we have option here pull down personal, and if you select the personal and click next, you can see here it's asking for desktop virtual desktop template. We don't have any template created right now, so first we need to go to create a template. So how to create template, let me show you. Go to Hyper-V, and here you need to create one virtual machine which is being used as a template for deploying other virtual machines. So go ahead and create one virtual machine, call it like Windows 8 template, click next, and we need to create a generation 1 machine, so click next and assign memory is 4 GB. I'm going to assign here, and we have a network. Go ahead, create. For now don't connect with any network because I don't want to do anything, but in a real environment you need to go to connect with like your corporate or any network. Then you need to do Windows patching, install required application on that machine, then you can create a template. So for now not going to connect anyway, and let's create a one drive for around 60 GB hard drive, and I'm going to install for physical media. So click on finish, and now I'm going to add my physical media here, installation media for Windows 8. So go to ISO, we have Windows client here, Windows 8.1 Enterprise, add this, and now you can see machine is configured here, and go to settings, increase the processors, 4 processor, apply. You can see the physical drive is mapped. Go ahead, and now you can start this machine for the installation, and once the installation is done we can resume with the RDS deployment. So it will take some time, so wait for some few minutes here. If you go here you can see machine is started and it is in running state. Now it's loading Windows. Now you can see installation is started. Click next, and now we need to click on install. I accept the license terms, click next, and go ahead and install the operating system now. So now installation is initiated. Once the installation is done I will resume the video from there. For now I am pausing the recording. So now installation is done, we can proceed with configuring Windows 8 machine. So call it like PC name Win8 and express setting, and create a one user here with name user only. However, we need to delete this user by using, once we have enabled the administrator account. So we have only one administrator account in our template. If you want to make any other changes like setting or anything, you can go ahead and do those setting also. So now you can see it's installing your app, so it will take some time to give the login screen. So let's start. Here we go. So now I'm going to do some basic setting here in a control panel. I'm going to change like power setting, do not turn off display, and if you want to make any changes in your template you can go ahead and make all the changes, and you can also install the application which you need to install for users as per your company standard. So I'm going to enable my administrator account here, good to go, and now log off from this account. Go ahead and log in with administrator account, and then we will delete the default user account which we have created during the installation. So it will take few seconds. So here we go, delete this, and now you can go there, and in a control panel go there, and in a user accounts we can go ahead and delete this account user, delete account. So we are done with this, and also if required do some other changes, like I'm going to call it like OS disk, and we have around 61 GB drive, and now we are good to go. And now I'm going to run a sysprep on this machine to create a template basically to generalize this machine. On system 32 we need to go to sysprep, and we need to run sysprep, and during the running sysprep select the generalize, and I'm going to shut down this machine after generalization. So it's depend how you create a template. If you need to install any application, you need to do any setting changes on your template as per your corporate or industry standard or your organization need, then you can go ahead and do these settings. So this is a demo, so I'm not going to do install anything or going to change many settings there in template. So we just want to verify the template, and we need to deploy the virtual machines by using this Windows 8.1 template. So it will remove all the personalized setting for this machine, then it will shut down this machine. Now you can see the machine is getting shut down. After shutdown we need to do some setting changes here. Like my machine is not connected with network for now, so I'm going to connect this machine with the network, my RDS virtual network. And if you want to do any other changes, I want to remove the CD drive which is connected, and everything looks good, so go ahead and close this. And now let's deploy the collection here. So go ahead and create new desktop virtual desktop collection, click next, and now we have to select the collection name VDI demo, and select the we have two options here, the personal and pulled collection. So personal you can see the new virtual machine will be created on the basis of template, and permanent user assignment for the virtual machine, like the machine VM01 is going to associate with user 01 or user 02, and administrative access on user machine. So we are going to do the personal, and we have also pulled option here, but most of the companies using personal, so I'm going to refer with the personal virtual desktop collection. So click next. Now you can see we have a template here, win8 template, which is running on RDS VDI01. So go ahead, click next. Now we need to automatic user assignment I'm going to use, and add the user account in local administrator, so the users will get the remote administrative access on that particular virtual machine. So go ahead and take this, and we have option to sysprep unattended installation on. If you have any sysprep answer file, you can go ahead and define there. So I'm not going to assign anything. Go ahead, click next. Here we have option to select our time zone, so I'm going to select my time zone here, and Active Directory Victor Info. So I have created one OU in my Active Directory which is called VDI. If you go want to check here, you can go ahead and check from here on an Active Directory server. If you go to Active Directory users and computer, you can see I have created one VDI. Also, if you want to put the extension's name, you can go ahead and use the extension name. So click next, and now we have a user and user group access. So you can specify who can log in with this collection. So I'm going to use the domain user, and virtual machine size you can edit by how many numbers of users or virtual desktop you are going to create here. So as this is demo, I'm going to create 2 here, and suffix I'm going to click here 0, and suffix call this one. So the first machine is going to create it like 01, second is 02, and so on. So click next, and here we are going to create new virtual machine, 2 virtual machine going to deploy here. Go ahead, click next, and where you want to save the virtual machine. So I'm going to save virtual machine in my C drive. Create one folder here, call it like RDS VMs, and copy this path. You can save the virtual machine at 3 location. On some network location you can save it, or you can save it on CSV disk. Any CSV disk is coming, and also you can store on network share. So I'm going to use on local drive, store in each RDS virtual host. So go ahead, click next, and now we are done with this, and this is the all settings which we have just selected in during this. And confirmation, go ahead and create this. Now it will run and create the. Now you can see it's exporting the virtual machine, means it's exporting the template which we have just created. You can see exporting 1%, and once its exporting is done, then it will deploy the new virtual machine by using this wizard only. So I am pausing the recording for few times in this process, because this process will take a long time, like exporting the virtual machine, then it will deploy, create one machine and copy the hard drive from the template, and then it will create the second machine and template, so everything. So this process will take some time, so I am pausing the recording few times during this. Now you can see export is done, and now it's creating the virtual machine. So once it's done with copying the virtual machine hard drive from template, then it will create a one virtual machine here with the name of VM-01. So it will take some time. Now you can see the virtual machine has been deployed, and it's starting the auto configuration, and during this configuration machine will join in going to join in domain, and it's going to like associated with our all the security settings and domain, and it will create one automatic user account also, computer account also. Here you can see the account is created, and if you go here on the properties, you can see the operating system is not associated, but it's created the computer account. Soon it will map with this virtual machine once the machine is joined in domain. So everything is going to happen automatically. There was nothing we need to do manually, and also you will see the soon it will get the IP address from DHCP once the machine is booted and everything is done. So here you can see it's configuring the machine. So we have to wait for a few minutes here. It will configure everything by itself. Once the both machine is configured, we can go and proceed with the testing for VDI solution which we have just creating. so it will take some time. And we can see it's injecting the drivers for virtual machine and getting drivers ready, getting devices ready. So we can go ahead and close this window, and we need to just wait for a few minutes till the time we have both machine is ready and created in Active Directory. Everything is done. So just wait. Now you can see that it's getting IP address from DHCP server VDI 01, and also it will take some time to reflect at here. If you go on properties, you can see it's in like mapped with the computer account also, which we have automatically created in VDI OU, which we have defined during the VDI installations. So I'm pausing the recording here. Once the both machine is deployed, we'll resume from there. So now you can see one machine, virtual machine has been deployed, and now it's working on second VDI. So soon it will create one more virtual machine here with the name of VDI-02, and let's verify here account is created or not. So you can see account is created, and soon it will just create one more virtual machine, and it will start the virtual machine, and auto configuration is done by RDS setup only. So we have to wait for few more minutes till the time machine VDI2 is not ready. So I am pausing the recording once again. So now we are done with this. You can see the VDI demo collection was created successfully. Go ahead and close this, and both the machine has been deployed and in a save state. So now we can go here and test. VDI demo is created, and we have two virtual desktop, and this is not associated with any user, and connection status is blank, everything is blank. So we can go ahead and test now on virtual machine. So if you go here on a collection, edit properties, you can see here on a RD web access, you can see this URL where we have published, where you can users log in and check the everything. So do one thing, set the default browser Internet Explorer, and we can check these things. So default application, go there and wait for a few seconds, click on Internet Explorer, set as default program. So go ahead and click OK and close this, and now we can go and check the deployment here. We did task deployment, and on the RD web access, click on it, and now it will launch the console. And same we can go ahead and launch on our thin client devices also. Basically you can buy a thin client hardware devices which is basically on a zero config. You just need to put the IP address of your VDI server, and you will able to connect with the your thin client virtual machine which is running on a RDS infrastructure. So it's giving the HTTPS error, no problem. Click on continue, and same on a second machine, thin client 2. So now you can see here the login page, and where we need to put like vector info sol and slash user account name and credential password for that account. Click login, sign in, and here we have a VDI demo. Click on this button and click on connect, and now you can see it's configuring. So here we need to put the user account again and credential, and now you can see it's connecting with our connection broker server, which is RDS-VDI01, which is also a RD virtualization host in our case. So now if you go here, you can see on a virtual machine, both the virtual machine in a safe state. Once it's got the connection from our RD connection broker, it will initiate the virtual machine to power on. So it will take some time. Just wait for a few seconds here. Now you can see waking the virtual machine. It's means is starting the virtual machine. Here you can see it's getting restored. Now virtual machine is running, so it will take the securing the remote connection. Soon it will get the access to virtual machine, and same we need to do on our second VDI server. client machine, which is thin client. So put here Victor info sol and then user02, and put the password for user02 and click on sign on. Oops, we have something wrong here. Victor info sol and user02, password for user02. Now we have VDI demo also here. So launch this and put the password here, user02. Now you can see here the virtual machine, one is VDI, one is getting logged in. The user01, you can see the machine is powered on. Soon it will. Now you can see, if you go here, you can see its properties. It's VDI01, it's VDI01, and soon it will securing the connection, and soon it will power on the starting the virtual machine 2. You can see it's getting restored, and this is the how the backend process is going on a RDS server on a HyperV servers. So it's soon it will create a session here. So you need to wait for a few seconds here. Now if you go on RDS server, if you're VDI demo, you can see there was no user association. If I refresh this screen, now you can see we have a user is associated with their virtual machine, and current status is active for VDI01, and soon it will get the access for VDI2 also. So here you can see on VDI2 it's getting login, and if I refresh this screen, now you can see both machine is associated with user and current status is active. So we are good to go, and you can check the machine name here. So we are done with this. So both the client is got the access to their dedicated virtual machine. So this is all about the deploying the virtual desktop infrastructure, deploying Microsoft Virtual Desktop infrastructure by using remote desktop services on Windows Server 2016. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this, please post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.